GUNTANK's tackle has two hitboxes, a 100 damage clunk and a 150 damage punch at the end. These hitboxes can add together for a large amount of cumulative knockback, which can send enemies into the air where their weapon might not be accurate like yours is. It can also be used to combo into the cannons. This adds up to 610 damage total, and since you can shoot your guns while firing the cannons, it probably adds up to 700 or 800 overall. If you're failing to get the combo to work, it's probably because you're clicking the cannons too early. If I tackle like this and hold the cannon button down, I'm holding it down right now, but it still won't shoot, because you have to release and click again to actually make it fire. The correct timing to fire the cannons on is as soon as you see this lock-on box appear. As soon as you can see that, you can fire the cannons, and you can also fire them while sprinting around. Let's take a look at Thermal Plant, specifically point C.
Target changed to objective C.
I'm going to click GUNTANK, and then I'm going to show you a rollout, as well as a very useful way to use your tackle for teammates. So as soon as these doors open, we're going to see me spend a quarter of a tank of fuel and then tackle. As you can see, the tackle got me the quarter tank of fuel back, and this gets me over to the point in about 10 seconds. My tackle also recovers on time because I spent it as soon as possible. The next thing you can do is tackle through this choke point. The usual counterplay to GUNTANK's tackle is that people will just back away from you, so what you want to use your tackle for is taking space for teammates. Imagine if you don't have an invincible shield you can push corners with. You're now stuck trying to fire over the top of this thing at people who are doing the same on the other side. But if your teammate says tackle me in, and you listen, you give them this whole donut-shaped area behind the point. This could let you, say, install a heavy arms on the top of this doorway while behind this wall, while people who are in this choke can't even see it. Your tackle did that. It also gives you access to a high ground fight against this health up. If there's a Pale Rider standing right here, he can't use his health pod anymore because explosive damage will easily break that. And the other advantage to high ground is potential energy. You can jump down here, but people down here can't use this path back. There are loads of creative ways to approach this point, but you always want to be doing it with the team. GUNTANK is not a solo flanker, and the cold hard math for why you don't want to solo flank is this: you take too long to kill people. Let's say there's an enemy Z2R who you keep encountering on the flank. He's not going to just let you do your 800 damage combo on him. He's going to use his smoke, he's going to run away, he's going to grab an HP, and you're going to be holding down M1 the whole time until eventually he dies. And then how much time are you going to have left to go help your team? None. Versus in his scenario, if he lays his primary down on your face, it's like you just got cut in half by a chainsaw. That thing hurts, and he kills you fast. So he gets back to his team with all the time in the world to win a 3v2. And that is the difference in what you guys are gambling for. His reward is just better than yours. This logic applies to GUNTANK's ult as well. If you ult someone at the start of a CA rotation, you're just giving them a free ride back to spawn, while you have to run across the entire map just to get to the next point. If you can control space, and you can control time, that's like most of reality, I think. You can also shoot 3 people at once for no penalty per target, and you have a double speed revive that gives allies an extra 200 HP more than usual. If you want all that plus a shield to block bullets for your team, play GUNTANK. If you want your own personal invincibility kit and a weapon that does much more damage, play Z2R. So the other way to use GUNTANK's abilities together is to G-dash around a corner and then tackle after your own cannons. It is much easier to cancel the cannons with the tackle than the other way around. See how I can basically get rid of the muzzle flash? It's not even there. You can cancel those so soon. And if you swing with a G-dash, you can sprint halfway to the bottom and you'll get your dash back at the end of the tackle. If you do a full dash, it doesn't work anymore. I only get halfway there because my fuel doesn't start recovering as soon. But if you G-dash, it's always fine. Because if I do just a quarter, it's fine. And if I sprint, it's the same. The sprinting part is just free. The idea is that you're basically paying for this sprint either way, so you may as well take it. You're not really getting fuel for free by G-dashing, but the game makes you pay for it whether you take it or not. So when you take it, it feels like you're getting fuel for free. According to the patch notes, GUNTANK's tackle lasts 1.4 seconds. So that means it takes 0.7 seconds to recover a quarter of a tank, 0.7 seconds to go through your delay, and therefore 0.7 seconds of sprinting at the end of a G-dash. If we can assume I burn fuel at a third of the speed I recover it, then that means each G-dash burns a quarter of a tank plus a third of a quarter of a tank, which equals 1/3 of your whole tank. This means the difference between the fuel a G-dash costs and the fuel a tackle recovers is 1/6, so your fuel should hover around the 5/6 mark. Once you're back to a full bar of fuel, there are 3 ways a 2-dasher wants to spend this. If you want to dash once, you do a G-dash. If you want to dash twice, you do a dash, cancel, and then a G-dash. If you want to dash 3 times, however, your last dash isn't allowed to be a G-dash. You can't sprint when you're on the bottom 25% of your fuel. The game just doesn't let you and the bar will turn red. So, if you're going to use a full dash, it should only ever be your final dash. Full dash G-dash sucks, and it goes 50 meters less than just using 2 dashes. The second half of your dash basically just sucks. In summary, you want to move around with these first 2 options, so long as you're getting ready to tackle. After you've tackled, if you used the first option, you'll have all 3 of these left. Or if you used the second option, they'll all be missing the first step. And because you have to sprint into your tackle, there are only 5 outcomes in total before your fuel has to regenerate. The only variations are that you might extend one of your sprints, you might replace a sprint with a jump, or you might squish one of the long dashes on the 3rd or the 5th option. Want to watch me get out skilled? So here I am, minding my own business in the last half minute of the game. I get a nice scan, and I lament the fact that I can't throw 2 axes at once. So I back further up, shoot this Saz as best I can, get a kill, grab a 1k, and once again, I lament that I cannot throw 2 axes at once. I kill Saz again, and he still gets revived, because, you know, the Power Rangers just rolled up on me. This guy actually apologized to me this morning, unprompted. And apparently it's not a conspiracy, and they're all just French, which is not the same as being Italian, but fairly similar. My point is that when you're on GUNTANK, you want to find this guy, and you want to treat him like a community manager. Personally, I think everyone's a community manager. Everyone can remember that G-dashing thing from way back last section. Your half dash goes 62.5 meters. And guess how far Sazabi's half dash goes? 62.5 meters. The difference is that the second half of his dash doesn't suck, so he can extend that portion of his G dash up to the 75% mark. But the point is that your first step is the identical step. Looping this is how you follow a shield around, and following a shield is how you get mileage out of your hip fire. For as long as you're moving together, you move the same way. Then the parts where your options diverge are where one or the other of you is choosing to initiate. That's the part where you do this, or this, or even this, just to take the space. And then Saz does this to reset your positions after the divergence. Homing Boost even has the exact same cooldown time as Guntank's tackle. But until that point, you are a flashbang, and I'm going to pick you up by the cannons, and I'm going to throw you into the choke point. And if you want to attach yourself to my utility belt, you gotta do this. Every shield character is a one-dasher, and they all have the same dash distances. Your tackle also won't block any of Marasai's abilities, so stay near a shield.